sounds like that. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani boasting that Iran got its way with a newly struck nuclear deal. The Iranian leader taking to Twitter, of all places Twitter, bragging, "Our relationship with the world is based on Iranian nation's interests. In Geneva Agreement, world powers surrendered to Iranian nation's will." The 6-month deal calls for Iran to start eliminating a stockpile of highly enriched uranium in exchange for relief from sanctions. So, did the world powers surrender to Iran? Senator Lindsey Graham joins us. Nice to see you, sir. And that certainly is an interesting message he's sending out to the world.
Well, this interim deal is like Swiss cheese. It's got holes all in it. The deal allows the Iranians to do R&D, research and development, on centrifuges. Our guys say that means just pen and paper. They can design new centrifuges for research and development. The Iranians say, no, we can actually operate centrifuges. At the end of the day, what do I tell people in South Carolina based on this tweet? What do you tell the people in Israel based on this tweet?
Well, Israel must be, I mean, I imagine that Vice President Biden got an earful when he was at the funeral this past couple of days.
I hope so, but what am I supposed to... The Iranians are trying to get a nuclear weapon. When they say they're not, they're lying. If they get a nuclear weapon, if the Ayatollahs get nukes, God help us all.
Well, this wasn't designed just to sort of keep the crowd at home happy, because it wasn't in Farsi. It was on the English Twitter. So he was clearly sending a message to the United States and the other nations.
Did you see the LA Times story about a secret side deal with the Iranians that the Iranian diplomat acknowledged existed?
And our State Department's denying.
Secretary John McCain and myself are writing a letter to Secretary Kerry. Is it true? If it's not, tell us. Tell the Iranians to stop doing this. But we're writing a letter to Secretary Kerry. Is there any deal that's classified? Is there a side deal? They're trying to get a nuclear weapon. This interim deal, what's the goal? Is to make sure they can't. In the next 6 months, if they tried very hard, they could have a nuclear weapon. At the end of this deal, when the 6 months is up, how far away from a nuclear weapon are they? Will the reactor that produces plutonium be dismantled or just frozen in place? Will all the highly enriched uranium be turned over to the international community or just some of it? Will they still have thousands of centrifuges?
All right. What do you think President Obama, if he were sitting here tonight talking to you, what do you think he would say in response to you?
He would say, don't do sanctions, Lindsey. If you do another round of sanctions, you're going to destroy the last chance for peace. And I would say, Mr. President, the people you're dealing with are liars.
And I should say, former Secretary of Defense Gates said that the sanctions should be passed in the Senate, but with a condition that, do you agree with that, the condition that there's a trigger that if they don't comply with
the sanctions we're trying to pass in the Senate reinforce the end game. They don't go into effect until 6 months, and they would never go into effect if they dismantle the reactor, stop enriching, and turn over their uranium.
Is the Obama administration, are they in good faith having a negotiation, or are they just being bamboozled?
I think they want a deal for a deal's sake.
Just any deal?
I think this is Syria all over again. This is North Korea all over again. The people who did North Korea are in charge of these negotiations. Here's what I believe. I don't think this administration really has an end game of stopping the enrichment program. They're just trying to reduce it. And if you're Israel, could you live in peace with the idea that the Ayatollahs have the capability to turn uranium into a bomb material? I couldn't.
Well, I don't think Prime Minister Netanyahu will either. He's been pretty blunt about that.
This interim deal is a bad deal, and if we don't start disciplining the Iranians, they're going to run all over us.
Senator Graham, always nice to see you, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you for being